Morning, Wayne. And morning, Keyshawn Johnson.
What's happening?
How are you doing?
Good, man.
Good morning, Rachel Nichols.
sir.
How are you? I know it's a little chilly in here, but we're about to heat it up.
I was going to say, I feel good about what's coming.
Okay, good. And let me say good morning to Jayson Tatum, who yesterday in Las Vegas during his Team USA media session said he felt like a weight had been lifted off his shoulders. Jayson Tatum said 100% just being at the topic of discussion of so many debates or whatever it is, can he lead a team? Is he a top 5 player? There's still a lot of things I guess they can debate, but now I've done something that they can't debate. I've won a championship. Having that under my belt, like obviously it's still conversation to be had or whatever people want to say, but they always got to refer to me as an NBA champion. Keyshawn, you kept saying this same thing throughout the finals, that you were rooting for Jayson Tatum for this very reason that he just expressed, to end any debate about his values. So I'm assuming you loved what he said yesterday.
No, absolutely, Skip.
Yeah.
I mean, like, as soon as he said it, I'm like, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because if it was, all athletes want to win a championship because that erases a lot of doubt in people's mind about what type of player you are. And I'm talking about winning a championship, not just on the team, taking the photo with the team and the trophy, but actually being a very important part of why you won the championship. Now, mind you, he's done it in such short time, in short order. When you think about some of the other champions that we've come to watch over the years, whether it's Steph Curry or Giannis or Michael Jordan or LeBron or Kevin Durant or any of them, when you look at the body of work and the time that they won their championship, he's either done more or about the same as all of those guys. It literally, when you start talking about the statistical side of things, the accomplishments, the all-star games, the all-NBAs, he literally checked all those boxes. The only box that he didn't check, he just checked last month, which is winning a world championship. So if I was him, not that he would do that, but if I had his money, I'd go give him one of them big old yachts somewhere and put on the back of it. You know how you have to name your yacht? Now what? To speak to people like you, Skip, that question what type of closer or player I was. That's the way he has to think about these things. Because like he said, it's not going to go away. We still going to have a conversation about it because the next conversation will be, we only got one.
Right.
He only got one, Rachel.
Yes.
He only got one. But the man's been to 5 or 6 conference finals, 2 NBA finals in the last 7 years or something like that, if my math serves me correct. How can you complain about his ability to do the things that he's done as a leader? Well, you would simply say to me, Skip, well, it's really Jaylen Brown. Yes, it's his Robin. He's the Batman. His Robin helps him when he needs to.
Really?
That's the way. Yeah, he's the Batman. The team anointed him as Batman 3 years ago prior to the Kevin Durant trade when they looked to move on from Jaylen Brown, and then they decided, we're going to keep Jaylen. But they said, Jayson Tatum, this is your team, because they wanted to try to get Kevin Durant because they didn't think Jaylen Brown was good enough. So now, Skip, he's wiped the floor. He's done everything. Everything is clean. Now he has an opportunity to repeat. That's really, I love it. I mean, look at the numbers. Okay, so the last 5 seasons in points, he's first. 362 more than any player the last 5 seasons. And then in wins, he's first. 11 more than any other player. So he's done his job. I don't even know why people would even still be talking about whether or not he belongs.
Belongs where?
Wherever.
Yeah.
Wherever. Pick it. We can't put him in an all-time great because he's not done yet. He's probably got another 12 years of basketball left in his body. But when you start looking at saying, will he go down as one of the greatest to ever play? What, you gonna say no? You can't say no to that. No. So what else, if he goes down as one of the greatest to ever play, Skip, what else is there, what other box?
Okay. I'll speak in a minute, but go ahead, Rachel.
I don't know exactly what the boat would say, Keyshawn, but he did come out at the Celtics championship party the night that they won, and the first thing he said to the crowd is, what are they going to say now?
Okay, that's what I would put on the back of it. What are they going to say now?
So he's there. Look, the 2 things that he identified as his criteria, right, are top 5 player And I don't think there's any question that he's considered that right now. Only in that, you know, he was top 5 on my ballot, all NBA first team, and clearly with the rest of the NBA media felt the same since he was top 5 first all NBA. He's been consistent, as you say, about what he has accomplished. And then, you know, the second thing is a guy who has led his team to a championship. I would not say that Jaylen Brown is Robin by any stretch.
Well, I only call him Robin because they basically anointed JT as Batman when they were going to try to trade Jaylen.
Also, the idea that someone has to be the only guy to win a championship, it just doesn't hold up through history. Look at the last Celtics team that won it. Paul Pierce would be sitting here and saying that he and KG were equals. They were both Batmen on that team, right? And we can talk about, you know, Shaq and Kobe. We can talk about all kinds of teams that had 2 guys. The truth is, even though Jaylen Brown won MVP, that it was Jayson Tatum who led the team throughout the playoffs in points, rebounds, and assists. And if you want to have an idea of how rare that is, when I first saw that stat, I thought, oh, all the good players on the team must be the ones who lead their teams in playoff runs for that much. He's only the 6th guy to ever do that. And the other names are Jokic, LeBron, Duncan, Olajuwon, and Larry Bird. So he is in very rare company in terms of what we all say we wanted to think about was, can you lead a team through the playoffs? Can you win a championship? And he's done all of those things. I mean, you said his 7-year career, 6 All-Star appearances, 3 All-NBA first team. He's dropped 51 and 46 in playoff games, an NBA title, 5 conference finals appearances. And, you know, when you look at NBA history already, he is only 26, and he probably has 12 more years of basketball. But already, the only people in NBA history who have scored as much as him at this age, LeBron, KD, Carmelo, Tracy McGrady, and Kobe.
Pretty good names.
So he is on track with those guys. Doesn't mean he's going to become one of those guys. He's got a long way to go, but that is what he is on track for.
Okay. You make great points. You make great points. I got no issue with anything you just said because Jayson Tatum is really, really good. There's no doubt about that. And he is undoubtedly a champion forever and ever, never to be taken away from him. Can't take that part away. All I ever said was, I've sat in the same seat and first guessed this for 3 years, not 2 years or 1 year. For 3 years, I sat right here and I said, I'm sorry, he's not the best player on his own team. He's just not. I know every night that I'm rooting against Boston, and you hate Boston like I hate Boston, and I root against him, I pick against him, and I'm watching, and the guy who terrorizes me, who makes me sweat watching the game, is always the other guy. Take nothing away from Jayson Tatum because he's really, really good. And he's also really, really tall because I think, like Paul Pierce says, he's like a full 6'10" and long. Yeah. And it's hard to deal with that on a nightly basis. It's so long and so skilled. And he's such a good kid, and he's still a kid to me at 26. Yeah. But he plays hard. He's got all the right intangibles. But the closer on that team, the guy who strikes fear in my heart, is the other guy. And I've always felt sorry for the other guy because he had to play in a shadow that was inflicted upon him by the team because they coronated Jayson before he really did too much, just because he was Jayson Tatum from Duke and he was high pick. And we get that. And we all thought coming out of it like he's going to be really, really good. The point is, I was rooting harder for Jaylen Brown through these playoffs because he did some things that astonished me and made me very happy for him. Because who was the MVP of the Eastern Conference Finals? It wasn't Jayson Tatum, it was Jaylen Brown. Who was the MVP of the NBA Finals? It was Jaylen Brown. I was like, whoa, it's beautiful to watch because he deserved that, and I thought he earned that because the biggest shots made in the playoffs and then in the finals were made by Jaylen Brown. And I don't think he's Robin. I'm not saying he's Batman. Maybe you could say they're co-Batman.
Whatever you want to call it. You want to call it co-Batman, call it co-Batman.
Co-Batman.
I've never seen a show with 2 Batmans, though.
Okay, I haven't either.
I've seen a lot of NBA Finals with 2 Batmans on one team, though.
Okay,
so.
You have. And it's hard for me to say Jayson Tatum's a Robin because he's not a Robin. But the other guy is really good in different ways because the other guy is explosively athletic in ways I don't think Jayson Tatum is. In the end, I'm talking about explosive athleticism with